Yo, what is going on, folks? My name is JD, and this is Watch Stuff with Us. And tonight we are going to be reacting to a movie that just dropped earlier this week, Fantastic Four First Steps, in theaters now. And we are going to be doing a full on spoiler review of that movie, along with my esteemed special guest, one Mr. Steve Lewis, who is in the building yet again after his amazing performance on the Superman review that we dropped about 2 weekends ago. So, how you doing tonight, Steve?
I appreciate. I'm well. I'm doing well. I appreciate you having me on again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm excited. After that one, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to use this guy a bunch because
Yeah, we gotta do it more. We gotta do it more.
I know, man. I know. I had a good time. It's cool to be able to bounce ideas off of somebody, and also be able to go super deep, super nerdy into it at times too. And you definitely know your stuff. So I'm so glad to be able to have you on here tonight.
Most
Um,
definitely.
Before we get started, I'm going to tell everybody who's watching right now, please, 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 if you're watching this live or if you're watching this after the fact, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment because as you can see, the comments are displayed at the bottom of the screen. So, yeah, if you want to get your comment heard and read and seen on the screen to our dozens and dozens and singular fans, go ahead and throw that on there right now. But yeah, we are going to be jumping into the Fantastic Four First Steps breakdown and review momentarily. So, how's your weekend going so far, man?
Going. It's going well. I was going to probably check it out again. I was going to probably try to
Yeah.
drop in to the theaters and check it out again, but I got caught up with some family things. But I wanted to actually see this with the entire family. I didn't get a chance to do it, so that was kind of a knock. But other than that, it was a pretty good weekend. How was yours?
Yeah, it was good, man. We had some stuff going on here, so it was super busy. I was able to squeeze the movie in on Thursday night, so that was awesome. Yeah, it was good. I'm really excited to get into it and break it down. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have enough time to to carve a way to go and see it again before it hits streaming services and all that other stuff. But yeah, it's definitely worth a repeat viewing. I know that for sure, and
Hmm.
I would love to go in knowing some of the stuff that I know now, and then be able to see some of the things that we're going to discuss and break down again for a second time. So yeah, really excited to get into it. I enjoyed the movie thoroughly, so I'm excited
Hmm.
to talk about it.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed the movie thoroughly. I told you in the last time we were on, I came in with very low expectations. Personally, just I love Fantastic Four, the comic book. I watched the cartoons. I love the Silver Surfer cartoon as a kid, but the movies, and I watched the '94 movie, like the straight to video movie. All three of them, all four of them, just really have
Right.
disappointed. Um, and it started with the '94 version. I was not a big fan of the 2005 and 2007 Fantastic Four, although those look like masterpieces compared to Vance or Stick. That was in 2015. So I came in this with no expectations. However, Marvel needed this to be good. So I can't say it was kind of like no expectations. They needed this to be good. So personally I didn't, but Marvel really needed this to get them start pushing them in the right direction.
Yes, they needed a hit for sure.
Yes, they did. They needed one. They really needed to get this going. And I think they got it. They got their hit, and it blew my expectations out the water. I can't. I came in, like I said, very low expectations, and it blew them out the water.
Yep.
I had some
Yep.
problems with it. It wasn't a perfect movie, and we'll get into that. But from what I thought I was gonna get, it definitely blew those way out of the water.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you on that one. I went into the movie with pretty low expectations only because I don't want to get my expectations dashed. tend to be the case a lot of times these days,
Mhm.
especially with Marvel stuff, man. Marvel has
Mhm.
been a little bit hit or miss. I
Yeah.
think the TV shows have kind of like messed things up a little bit for everybody who's
Yeah.
been watching
We
the
gotta do a talk
Marvel
about that.
product.
But I didn't mean to cut you off. We gotta do a
Oh,
talk
go
about.
ahead. Yeah, yeah. It's it's been hit or miss, and I think that it kind of watered down the product, and a lot of people were very hesitant to, fully commit to the movie before it came out. I know I had been watching a lot of the reviews and, seeing the positive stuff that had been coming out about the movie before it released, and I was excited about it. And I kind of felt the same way going into Superman.
Mhm.
Um, and I came out of that situation being a little bit let down because my expectations had gotten, pretty high by the
Mhm.
time I went to go see it. Not to say that it was a bad movie. If you are interested in how we took a deep dive, please go back and check out our review that we did on this very station. So, but yeah, I came into this movie with similarly higher expectations as the week got closer. Like, so the closer it got to time to go watch the movie, the more my expectations went up
Mm.
and the more excited I got about it. And I remember at one point, what point was it? Okay. It was about the first act had already ended, and it was the point where they went to Galactus and was on his ship,
Mhm.
and they had to do the escape. And I know we're spoiling it already, so yeah. They had to escape from his ship, and they had to like do a circle around a black hole in order to
Mhm.
gain enough speed to sort of slingshot themselves home. I looked over to my friend, and Katie was with me too, and I looked to my friend, both of them. I said, "This movie is like actually good." And that was it was like right at that point where I got like really happy because I'm like, "Oh my god, like we finally got one after such a long drought that's like, a really like a actually good movie." And
Yes.
I think Thunderbolts was a good movie, but
Thunderbolts
this
is
one
definitely
is a
underrated.
clear. What'd you say?
It was definitely underrated, Thunderbolts.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think that this is a clear step above that. And
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
was I was very pleased with it. I was very happy with it. Um it was it was something that I was expecting to be a 3.5 out of 4. I mean, a 3.5 out of 5 type movie, and it definitely turned out to be a solid like 4 out of 5. And if I had to drop a rating, I rarely go into the 4.5 or the 5 ratings for movies. So a 4 is a very, very solid rating. If you had to give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you give it?
So I have my entire I have a chart that I go off of what I don't like, what I dislike. Um, to me, it's right under a 4,
Okay.
but
Yep.
I just wanna this is gonna come off cheesy. I'm gonna give it a 4, Fantastic 4. It was a I'll give it a definitely I'm gonna have to give it a Fantastic 4. Like I said,
Yeah.
I had some issues with it, but, it definitely it's easily the best Fantastic Four movie. It's one of the best Marvel movies since Endgame.
Yep.
I'm
Agreed.
thinking I don't wanna just say it's the best since Endgame because I really have to think about that for a minute, but it's definitely one of the best. Spider-Man is probably up there, but,
Yep. Yep.
it's up there with Spider-Man. It's the best movies, Marvel movies um, since Endgame. It's easily the best superhero movie of the year so
Yep.
far. I liked it better than Superman. What I immediately liked that I thought I might have an issue with that I have to give it to Marvel was I like that they're away from the main Earth 616, and they're doing it on their own universe. They I like the sort of futuristic yet retro look of it. It felt like the Jetsons. That
Mhm.
first
Mhm.
act, I thought they nailed it. Unlike Superman, this movie they're both kind of jumpy in 4 years in. This one, you don't feel like you're necessarily missing anything. They catch you up pretty well with it. The first act of this movie works perfectly. what I liked about this movie as opposed to the previous Fantastic Four movies was they didn't showcase the powers of each individual member as silly and goofy, where particularly the '05 and '07 movie did, where Sue Storm is invisible, and first one, it was just kind of moments where Jessica Alba was doing silly scenes where it's like, oh, I'm invisible, but my clothes are still running around. Reed Richards, like, I'm sitting at a desk, but I can reach and stretch and get my coffee without getting up.
Yep.
They
Yep.
saved it for when you really want to see their powers.
Yep.
I like what they did with the Thing. The Thing was a character that I felt like the last few movies haven't really been able to really understand sort of his origin. I thought in the first two movies he was they went too deep with him. This one, he's not a tortured soul, but you can see how it's played a role in his life, but he's not tortured. Johnny Storm, I like what he did. I like the character, the actor they put in that role.
Mhm.
A lot better than Chris Evans. Yes, he's silly. Yes, he's a ladies' man, but he's not. He can still make conscious decisions. So I thought that the first act of this movie was perfect, visually amazing. My issues started to come in the third act and at the end of the second act. The
Mhm.
one
Mhm.
thing I didn't bring up was that Galactus, they introduced Galactus and I loved it.
Yep.
Very intimidating.
Yep.
And you've probably seen Galactus is a difficult character. I
Yes.
thought would almost be impossible to bring to the big screen. It's a very difficult
Yep.
character to put in the big screen. Because I think if you're not into comics, if you run into the cartoons of the '90s, it's like, whoa, you got to explain this. This is a major character, but I thought they did that really well. And I thought the decision to go with Shella Ball as opposed to the more well
Norm
known
Rad.
surfer, I actually like that. I like that it worked well. I didn't think I was gonna like it initially, but I thought they pulled it off.
They
Um,
made it work. They made
they
it work.
did, but what I didn't like about it was I didn't like the way she looked. The aesthetic of Silver Surfer, I thought they nailed it better in '07. I did. She kind of looks like a trophy the whole time. She did. Like, she looked like a trophy the whole time.
Yep.
That was one of the negatives that I had. And what's keeping me from giving it more than a 4 or being much more firm than it's a 4 was as much as I like introducing Galactus and how they pulled it off. That final scene, spoiler alert again, um,
Mhm.
I thought was a dud. It kind of felt like if you go back to the Age of Ultron, where that sort of thing you wanted to see more out of Ultron there and you didn't get it. I felt the same way here. I know he's not, I know they're going to bring Galactus back, but it's knowing the world they were going to beat Galactus that easy. No
Yep.
way in the
Yep.
world was gonna happen. Like
Yep.
they wouldn't even come close. So they had set him up for being this sort of all powerful being. Then he steps in and he's beaten relatively easy with a power from Sue Storm that she really hadn't shown you she could do in the movie. So it's like, oh, surprise, surprise, boom, look at this
Mhm.
power that I have. And it just
Mhm.
kicks in right when I need it.
Mhm.
But other than that, I thought this was a very well done movie. But that just third act and knowing what I know about, and I'm sure you know about Galactus, it just kind of took it down a notch for me where I couldn't say firmness is a 4. You can also tell there was some editing things there too. I could tell there was an idea that the directors wanted to do,
Mhm.
and it probably didn't get there because editing that third act is all over the place. But if you look past that, this movie is definitely a 4. And then one of the person I got to give Pedro Pascal a lot of credit. I didn't think he was going to pull this off. When I heard he was Reed Richards, I'm like, that's going to be what's going to hurt this movie. He didn't. I thought he did really well. He's not the traditional Reed Richards. Yeah, obviously the mustache, right? But
Right.
he kind of, I was like, he's gonna play this like, I don't like, if is he gonna play this like Antonio Banderas meets Reed Richards? Like, this is what I'm thinking in my head, and I'm like, no, he does sell it, as he does sell himself as an intellectual in the movie, and I
Mhm,
do believe he's one of the smartest people in the universe. I believe that,
mhm.
absolutely. So that was something that I was worried about. There's a scene where he overthinks everything, and so one of the things that I had an issue with, and this is about the last issue I had with the movie, was when they're returning from space, and the press conference is all set up for them. And first, I'm thinking, like, why are they doing a press conference? They shouldn't be doing a press
Right,
conference at this point.
right.
Do a press conference. Then they realize this is not a good idea. Sue had literally just had the baby in a spacecraft, and they're doing a storm. And like, one of the reporters asked, "Well, are we safe?" And um, I'm thinking, like, if he's so smart, he's so intelligent, he thinks everything through. Why would he even start to answer some of these questions that he knew he wasn't going to give a satisfying answer to? So this was one of my things. Like, he's supposed to be this guy that kind of thinks he's two steps ahead of everything, but that was one where, like, why are you even answering these questions? You don't have a
Mhm,
satisfying answer to it.
mhm.
But other than that, that was really only negatives, and those are like me nitpicking with the film. Outside of
Yep.
that third act, I thought this movie worked well.
Yeah, to expound a little bit on what you were saying about Reed, the way that I read that, at least via the scene, was that I felt like they were trying to, okay, this version of Reed is not, I feel like he's very intelligent, but he also has a ton of self-doubt,
Yeah.
and that self-doubt shines through more than his confidence. I think a lot of times in the comics, we got to see a little bit more of the confident Reed, and that was what I was kind of coming into this movie expecting. And I think we got more of the self-conscious and self-doubting Reed, and that was a little bit jarring to me because, like you said, if this guy is supposed to be the most intelligent person in the universe, he sounds like he got the answers, but he can't relay them, and he is looking like he's about to, off himself because he
Mhm.
physically he can't, solve a problem, or he can't
Mhm.
figure something out. So that portion of it definitely made me pause a little bit. But like I said with Superman, um, I'm trying to look at things more so more so than just a singular movie. I'm trying to envision it as an arc. So I'm thinking and I'm hoping that as we further along in the next few movies, that we get to see more confidence come from Reed at some point in time, and a little bit less of the self doubt. Unless, maybe that's one of the things that Doom is going to prey on him about, is his self doubt, and he's going to play into that and use that against Reed. So I don't know. I definitely had the same sort of doubtful. I won't even say doubtful. I had the same sort of feel about the third act. Like you said, Galactus is an amazing villain and a universe destroying villain,
Yeah.
and for him to be taken out by Sue, I personally, I didn't agree with it. Now, I've watched things after the fact, and people talked about, um, and I knew about this, but I didn't really realize she was that powerful. But in the comics, Sue sort of has an alter ego called Malice,
Hmm.
and that version of her, from what I've heard a few different people say, is powerful enough to push Galactus the way that she was doing. And I was like, I don't know, but until I realized that when I was watching the movie, I was like, "Oh, no, 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 not Galactus!" Like you're gonna have to try a little bit. Like I would have preferred if they, almost like how Jin and Tony and Steve took down Ultron,
Hmm.
how they sort of like teamed up. Like
Hmm.
that's what I was expecting. Like I was expecting Sue to do her thing, and then Johnny to have his flames and pushing him with his flames. Reed, standing on the side, stretching to like tie up his legs or something like that, Star Wars style. And
Hmm.
then the thing, sort of jumping building like a and punching into him and then pushing him through. Like
Right.
I don't I don't know, man. Like Marvel, hire us, man. Like I feel like that would have been just as good. Like you could have even had it. You could have even had Sue still perish in that.
Hmm.
She could have still had used all her powers and still died. But the way that they showed it, they made it seem like it was just all her. And I mean, even if they would have made it that she was the last little oomph, to through, like she starts almost like having a vision or having a flashback and looking at her son's face and seeing her family and like recalling something, like, with them as a family or them, sitting at the table laughing or something like that. And then she was able to summon some extra strength and, that's what put them over the hump. And then she perished. Like, I feel like that would have done wonders for the team aspect of it and also would have been a little bit more believable that, yeah, I don't think that one person can take down Galactus. I don't think that the Fantastic Four should be able to take down Galactus, but at least if they would have teamed up in this, it would
Right.
have felt a little bit better. In that they would have, they had to combine their powers in order to take him out. But like you said, it's kind of nitpicky, and I feel like the movie was great. I liked what they did with Shia LaBeouf,
Yeah.
and it was like you said too. It's not what I was expecting, and I totally get why they had this version of her in this movie. Because they can kind of use her, and no disrespect or anything, but they can kind of use her as almost like a throwaway Silver Surfer,
Hmm.
and a one-off Silver Surfer. And
Hmm.
then once we get everything set after Secret Wars, you can bring in Norrin Rad, and then we can have a sort of longer lasting Silver Surfer in the universe. But for her to also be in and sort of mirror Sue's choice and decision in that Shalaval was on her planet and she chose to sacrifice, herself in order to save her universe and to keep them alive. And she also in turn has to sacrifice, thousands of other universes just to keep her area, her corner of the
Hmm.
universe alive. And
Hmm.
that was the decision that Sue was not Sue and the rest of the Fantastic Four were not willing to make. I thought that the movie officially won me over the point where they had Sue go out and talk to the rowdy sort of crowd and she made
Yeah.
that speech. I
Yeah.
was like, yo,
Yeah.
like okay, like I get it now, I get it. And I mean, like, and that part of her character is something that shines through in the comics, and that she was almost like, I wouldn't say she was the leader of the group, but she was definitely the one who was like the diplomat of the group. Like she
Hmm.
was the one that was talking to the villains. Like,
Hmm.
Doctor Doom in the comics, can't stand Reed, but will talk to Sue. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he'll be okay with Sue. Namor can't stand Reed, but is in
Right.
love with Sue. Like, I get it. Just like in the movie, we have Mole Man. Mole Man
I
can't
was literally about
stand
to say
Reed.
that moment. Yeah.
Yep, can't stand Reed, but is okay with Sue.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
like it was cool to see that sort of, that aspect of her character shine through. So like little stuff like that just is what made me appreciate the movie and know that they took the time and took the care to give you know very, very, not 100%, but very, very accurate um displays and characterizations of the character. So yeah, it was really good. It was really good. You got any more comments before we jump into the video, and we can let the
No.
video talk a little bit, and then we can sort of piggyback on some of the stuff that comes up in that too.
No, I thought, like you said it at the end. They really, I thought, got the characters right with this. They didn't miss out with the characters. They got them all right. I mean, like I said, I can nitpick with some things, but they got the heart of each character down in this. Like I would have probably given you a little bit more background on Sue, I think the audience has to know the parameters of her power before you pull something like that at the third act.
Right. Yep.
But for the most part, the heart of the characters they got right. I definitely agree too. When she left and spoke to the crowd, that was a big scene for me too. That
Mhm.
was definitely a big
Mhm.
scene. The movie, like I said, the first act got it right because for me, because this felt like a science fiction movie, and that's what the Fantastic Four is. So they kind of won me over really in that first act. I'm like, this is going to be a good review.
Yep.
So yeah, like you said, I thought you nailed it. They really got the heart of the characters, particularly Sue, and they did her so well because in the last few films, the last iterations, the Fox versions, they did not. They blew it, blew it with her a number of times, and they finally got it right on this one.
Yeah, and what you were saying about them not going, overly comedic with the characters' powers and all that stuff, like they were good the way Johnny and the thing interacted was great, and how
Yeah.
it was sort of like a it was sort of like a younger brother to older brother sort of like teasing relationship that wasn't like wasn't like bullying. Like I felt like in
Mm.
the old movies it kind of came across as Johnny was like almost a bully. And in
Yeah,
this one
he
it was
was.
more like, teasing. It was
Yeah.
kind-hearted. It wasn't the sort of cold and sort of callous way that he was kind of portrayed in some of the other movies. So I was very happy with that, and the just a little bit of an arc that we had with the Thing, and seeing his conflict, of course, and also seeing that he had sort of a developing relationship with somebody. Like that was really cool to see, and they were able to show that in a relatively small amount of screen time. So
Yes.
I was very impressed with that. Like that's difficult to do. It's difficult to hit on so many beats
At
in
that
this
small
movie,
screen.
and
Absolutely.
not have a 2.5 3 hour movie. So
Hmm.
just even the way that Johnny and the Silver Surfer kind of had a
Hmm.
relationship.
Hmm.
And superficially, once they started that, I thought that they were going to sort of keep it at that level, that oh, Johnny's just going to be horn dog and flirting with her the whole time. But he actually showed how smart he was, and went and deciphered this entire language, and
Hmm.
was able to use that to then get to her. Like I was
Hmm.
like, oh man, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Like they
Yeah.
have really thought this out. They really took this to a place that I was not expecting them to go with it. So yeah, man, I was very impressed. Once I got out the theater, I was super impressed. Let's watch this video a little bit. I'll fast forward through some of it since we've already talked pretty good and nailed a bunch of it already. But the one thing that I do want to talk about, and we'll wait a little bit, is the post credit scenes. We won't talk about the last one, since that last one wasn't really anything. But the mid credit scene is definitely one that we need to speak on real quick.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, and before we get started, I'll let you go first. But we haven't even mentioned that the main driving force of the entire movie, Franklin Richards. And I went into this thinking that he was going to be a part of the movie. I did not think that he was going to be the central character of the entire movie. Like the entire plot moved around him and was
Yeah.
completely about him. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed by that too, because they were able to hide that almost completely. Like I thought that he was going to play a role in the movie, and that he was going to be a sort of like a MacGuffin, like the one thing that Galactus was trying to go after. But I didn't think that he was going to be such a major part of the movie. And
Yeah.
I was impressed by that as well. So yeah, what did you think of Franklin?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's interesting. About halfway through the movie, I realized what they were doing with it. Because one of the things that I was thinking was when they went into space, my thought was, well, why is Reed bringing Sue on the spaceship and she's pregnant? Why are you bringing
Right.
her on? And I'm like, I start to think when I was watching it, yeah, that's gonna be they're gonna take that. They're gonna take this route with Franklin Richards. They're gonna use that. They're gonna take it that down lane in the comics. And so my suspense with that kind of subsided midway through the movie because I figured that's where they were going to go with that. And so I was impressed with that from that point on. And and it'll kind of go into the mid credit too. I like how they're gonna use him. I think they're gonna use him in the next stage of Marvel, but it won't give you too much, right? Like at the end, man, like he's gonna have like godlike power, right?
Mhm,
But they're not
mhm.
telling you exactly where they're going with that. So I'm interested to see where they take that in the future.
Yeah, I am too. I am also interested to see how the Franklin and Reed relationship develops as Franklin continues to get older because they definitely had somewhat of a strained relationship in the
Hmm.
comics, and I know that once we come out on the other end of Secret Wars, that I'm guessing that he's going to be older first off,
Yeah.
because from what I've heard, I mean, we jumped already like 3 to 4 years
4 years.
at
Yeah.
the end of this movie, and from what I understand, there's going to be like another 5 to 7 year time jump between this movie and um the beginning of Avengers Doomsday. So you'll
Mhm,
already have Franklin being, pretty old at that point and probably honed
mhm.
in on some of his powers. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how they delve into that sort of conflict that they inherently had, and how they're able to tell a coherent story moving forward with Franklin in it, knowing that Franklin is, like you said, a god, and he can do pretty much whatever he wants at any point in time.
Yeah.
So having someone like that in your back pocket is going to be interesting, to say the least, especially once we get into Doomsday. But we'll wait to get into that real quick. Let me start playing this a little bit, and I'll skip around because, like I said, we've already covered pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about as far as the movie's concerned. But we'll use this and see what they have and what he talks about, and maybe we can get some other things to discuss. And man, I pause it here, and it's going to be the beginning of the movie. But man, just Galactus's eyes, like I remember when they walked into wherever Galactus's chamber was, and they were on the
Mhm,
ground, and you could sort of see the silhouette of his helmet, but that's
mhm.
all you could sort of make out. And then like his eyes flashed on. I was like, oh,
They nailed it.
oh, and then he spoke, and then I
Oh,
was
the
like,
voice,
oh man, here we
they
go.
nailed
Like
it with
that was
Galactus.
it. Yeah,
I
they
was
did.
truly
They did.
intimidated in that. I haven't been that
Yeah.
intimidated since the end credit where Thanos is introduced.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
they nailed it.
If I could add one thing, I think that's one thing that they, probably ended up getting cut. Um, but if they could have shown some more of Galactus's conquest before this, just to see, a little bit more about how powerful he truly is, as
Yeah,
opposed to us seeing that one scene with him sort of using his ship to crush through the planet and all that. Like that was cool and all, but that just sort of chalked it up to Galactus's ship. Like I want to
yeah.
see like full on Galactus, wrecking shop and tearing stuff up, not just being a kaiju and walking through the city and crushing
Right,
buildings. Like
right.
Galactus is so much more than that. And I wish they would have had a way to show that. But yeah, I I really want to know when he's coming back, because the way that he's gone, but he's definitely, gonna come back at some point. And I don't know, I really want to see what the next story that they tell. That was my whole thing with this. Like this was so good that I was already, fiending for the next set of movies and stuff. But
Yeah, same here.
um yeah, let me go ahead and start this, and we'll see what they comment on here.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my full Marvel Fantastic Four first steps breakdown and Easter eggs for the entire movie. There were a billion. It was packed wall to wall with classic Jack Kirby, Stanley. They even had literal Easter eggs for them in the actual movie, as if they're canonical inside their alternate universe. They're a couple guys working at the early version of Marvel Comics, Timely Comics, actually making a Coming of Galactus story based on the events that happen in this movie. With
I didn't notice that.
I've seen that.
Yeah, wow. No,
Yeah.
I did not catch that. Wow.
that actually happen inside a universe where you actually superheroes, where comics would actually
Oh, that was one thing that I want to talk about too. Like you were talking about their powers and how their powers can come off as kind of like cheesy and stuff at times.
Yeah.
This was the best depiction of Reed's powers that I've seen in any sort of movie. And
Yes.
like you said, he wasn't using it to reach across, and grab a cup of coffee, or to slide, to jump off a building and use his body as a parachute. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't stuff like that. It was um every time he used his powers, it was functional. It was,
Mhm.
him running across a building, so he had to
Mhm.
stretch to get across the building faster. Or when he was climbing on top of Galactus, he used his stretching ability then. Like it made total sense. And that was one
Mhm.
thing that I was always nervous about as far as the way Mr. Fantastic comes off. Even on like a video game like Marvel Rivals, like I don't like using his character because it comes off as so cheesy. Like nobody really cares about that power set. Like
Yeah.
it's not cool.
Yes.
It's goofy, but they did their
Too many
best in this
superheroes
movie
have
to
it
make it.
too.
Yes, right. And they did their best in this movie to make it come across as being like functional for him. It was like that's his intellect and his brain power was his main power, and
Right.
then this was just something that he had on the side. So like
Yes. Yeah.
they totally nailed that. They
Yeah.
totally nailed that.
be a result of real life superheroes instead of the other way around. There was a ton of Jonathan Hick's Fantastic Four run baked into this, and the much more obvious connections and references to Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, like the actual post-credit scene. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get everything. There'll be a bunch of videos coming this week, spoilers for the movie if you haven't watched it yet.
Real quick while this is loading, I feel like they gave us so many teasers for what Doom is going to be. And they gave us these
Mhm.
teasers, but they left everything like at the same time so open-ended that a lot of the stuff that I believed about that movie is kind of like false at this point. And I guess we might as well just go on ahead and talk about the post-credit scene now, since I'm already itching to do it. But of course we had a post-credit scene, and you
Yes.
got Sue reading a story to Franklin, of course, and they sound, and then she comes back in the room, she flashes her powers, and then her powers stop, which I thought was interesting. And she looks over, and Franklin is reaching up and looks like almost touching the face of a green hooded character who we have to
Mhm.
assume is Doctor Doom. So
Mhm.
my one theory that I came out of that, and the first thing that I thought about when I saw it, was that the way her powers, like she sort of charged up her powers and then let them down. The only reason that she would do that is if she knew who he was.
Yeah.
So like I'm assuming, and I'm making that guess, that she knew who that was in that hood. What
Yeah,
do
I
you
agree.
think?
Agreed. Agreed. Like you said it earlier, she has a relationship. She can communicate. Doctor Doom in the comics talks to her. I can definitely see them transitioning Doom into the Fantastic Four. That was of their relationship. Most of the iterations of Fantastic Four, it's typically Sue and Doctor Doom that has the relationship. So I can see that coming. I I knew as soon as that mid credit scene, I didn't listen to anybody. I refused to. I think it had leaked like
It
Thursday
did.
morning. The mid credit scene had leaked. I refused to listen to it. I refused to watch it on YouTube. I knew right off the bat that it was going to be Doctor Doom was going to make an appearance in it. I knew it. I knew it. You can't have a Fantastic Four movie without Doctor Doom making some type of appearance. I knew he was
Of
going to be in
course.
that end credit scene. And so I was just ready for it. I can definitely see, like you're saying, that's where they're going to go. That's the direction they're going to take it. They're going to take it where she knows him, and that'll start the confrontation. But
Yep.
I knew he was going to be. I knew what to do in the mid credit.
Yep. Yep. And then I'm almost certain that the whole idea behind Doomsday and what we're gonna get, at least for most of that movie, is going to be um sort of Reed having to learn and understand and deal with what Victor is and what he's become, because I'm guessing that at some point in time they probably are going to have had a relationship. And whether Victor is going to leverage that relationship to sort of use the Fantastic Four and or Reed against whatever group they're battling at the beginning of that movie, whether that's going to be the case or not, or whether at the end of this scene, we didn't see it. A lot of people had speculated that they were going to, this scene was going to end with Doctor Doom actually taking Flynn, but the way that they ended it, I don't think that that's the case, at least not at this point.
No, I don't think they'll go there yet.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll go there yet. I think
that'll be a plot point at some point in
Yeah.
Doomsday, though.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. But you can see he's filling them out.
Yep.
Something's there. He's filling out the situation, filling out his powers. So yeah, that's gonna be a plot point at some down the line. But I didn't think they would do that in the mid-credit scene.
Yeah, I didn't either. And like I said, I didn't read or really hear any of the spoilers about it, but I had a feeling that they had to do something to sort of tease Doom. I think the only little change that I would have made to the scene, and I like I said, I'm just a Marvel editor at heart, I guess. They need to put me and you on the payroll. I feel like we come up with some great ideas, but I felt like when Sue came over and sort of flashed her powers and then turned them off, as she turned them off, all she would have had to do is say Victor, and like that would have been it. Like just so you knew that she knew who
there was a relationship.
That there was something there. Like even if it's it's not, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship or anything like that, but just that she knew who he was. I think that would have come across as like perfect. Then you would have been like, oh man, like not only is it Doom, like she knows who he is. Like, oh man, that would have been that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. But yeah, I was before all of this, I was excited and hyped for Doomsday, but like now, just knowing what that movie is, the characters that they have in it, knowing that the X-Men are going to be in it too, like I didn't think that they were going to be able to turn it up fast enough to make me be like involved and ready. But like, dude, my body and my soul is ready for this movie. We need to fast forward to next holiday season when this movie comes out, because it's gonna be heavy. Me and you, we need to get together to go watch it, man.
Yes,
that's what we need to do.
Out of theater reaction, absolutely.
Yes. Like as soon as it's over, do the whole theater reaction. Yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
They definitely.
All right,
that's why they need this movie to be a hit, because going into that, I wasn't. If this movie failed, or if we're looking at like a meh film, my anticipation for that wouldn't be so high. They really needed this to work, and it did. And so you got to give kudos to them, because if this didn't work, I'm just not going to be as excited about it.
Right.
And I'll let you keep going, but I was looking at the numbers. Excuse me, I'm looking at the numbers. Marvel needed this. Yeah, it's gonna have a nice opening, but it's not gonna meet where Superman was. And because I think a major part of the public has gotten sort of Marvel fatigue.
Marveled out.
Yeah, and especially with movies that are just, it was okay. I can watch this whenever. I'll wait till this gets on I'll wait till this get on Disney Plus then. So they needed this movie to get the anticipation, to get the excitement back.
Yep. No, 100% agree. And I think that they were able. Mission accomplished.
Fantastic Four run in Mark Waid's History of the Marvel Universe, where he literally shows Franklin merging with Galactus just before the death of the universe. He is destined to inherit his cursed throne. Franklin Richards is probably one of the most powerful characters Marvel ever introduced in the comics. For a long time, he was a mutant. We'll see if Marvel keeps him being a mutant in the MCU future movies. They could change that. In the movie, Galactus says he was born with the power cosmic. We literally see him use it to bring Sue Storm back to life at the end of the movie. This is actually a change from his comic book backstory. The reason why he's so powerful in the comics is Sue Storm is pregnant with him as a fetus, and he siphons off a portion of the power from the cosmic control rod, which Reed Richards has stolen from Annihilus in the Negative Zone. That device allows the user to control all of reality in any given universe.
Can I just say real quick that they've already said that one of the major focuses of the next saga is going to be Annihilus. So I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah,
really excited about that one.
yeah.
Universe, and that's how they explain Franklin Richards' ability to create entire universes. It's kind of like Scarlet Witch in the way that she has godlike powers over reality inside the Hex. Franklin Richards is a little bit like that, but just in the normal universe. During the movie, Galactus also tells the Fantastic Four that he is hiding his true nature from you, which is why Reed Richards can't detect anything weird with Franklin, just because Franklin himself is suppressing his powers. They're literally pulling a
Suppressing his powers from the womb, man. Like that's
Hmm.
crazy.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
Grogu with Franklin Richards. It's the same basic idea. Grogu in the Star Wars universe in the Mandalorian show hid his powers, hid himself from the Force so that the Emperor wouldn't detect him. Kevin Feige has not said anything about how powerful they're going to let Franklin be in the MCU or if they're going to depower him. They tend to depower characters a lot. Usually when people ask how the power scaling goes in the MCU, generally
Yeah, I
it's
can see
way
them
lower
devouring
than
him.
in the
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
this is the same guy who had an entire pocket reality and universe that he just kept underneath his bed. So like,
Right,
like
right,
I mean, it's you got an entire
right.
universe in a throwaway spot under your bed. So yeah, they're gonna have to nerf him a little bit, but
Yeah.
I do think that he's gonna end up being a him in combination with Wanda and also in combination with the Sentry are going to be the batteries that are going to run whatever Doom turns the void into in Sea Wars. If he's going to turn it
Hmm.
into Battle World and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure he's going to need a lot of power to do that and a lot of
Hmm.
power to be able to create that reality. And he's going to have to use Scarlet Witch. He's going to have to use Franklin, and he's going to have to
Century.
use the Sentry. So
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense that all of a sudden we've had this sort of like within the last few years we've had this sort of scaling up of some of these characters' powers. So yeah, like having Wanda and just knowing that she was able to have an entire reality,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
she was able to control everything that was going on inside of it, and then knowing Franklin's power set, and then also seeing the Sentry and his power set and how he was able to take as the Void, he was able to take people into his mind and project an entire reality for those people, and to go through their memories and bring out some of the worst parts. That's Yeah, that's an immense power. So you can see that they're sort of like Doom is going to have to bring these three together in
Hmm.
order to generate enough power to create Battle World. I wonder if they're going to call it Battle World, or if they're just going to call it the Void, like they've been using in like the Loki show and all that stuff. But we'll see.
Yeah, they
Battle
might
World
keep
sounds
it in
kind of
that. They
cheesy.
might keep it with that. Yeah, that would be definitely. I definitely think they're going to need to introduce the Sentry into this. Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. I can see them going with that, keeping that going. But I do think those are going to be pivotal characters as they go to the next phase.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Now,
definitely. And,
what'll be what I keep saying. I've had this conversation with other comic book fans. Is if you start to go in with the Century, um, Scarlet Witch, Franklin Richards, are those characters strong enough for the average casual fan to keep building your franchise on? That's going to be interesting to me. So I think that could play a role also in how they start writing the remainder of the movies. Like Fantastic Four, Iron Man, X Men. These are characters that most people are familiar with.
right,
As you move forward, you start getting into the Century, and I know the Vision was a show, but I still don't think people know exactly a lot about the Scarlet Witch and the full parameters of her powers.
right,
So as they
right.
move forward, how they handle those characters will be interesting. as they try to kind of get back on a hot streak, are those characters essentially are strong enough names to build the next phase on?
Yeah, yeah, that's the key. And somebody like Franklin, like if we go by what Marvel has done in the past, they're gonna have to take Franklin off the table after Secret Wars is done, because you can't have someone who's that powerful sort of just like lording in the background. And
Yeah.
it's sort of the same way with like how even the Sentry is, um at this point, like you have these characters that are like ridiculously, godlike in powers, that
Hmm.
you have to like sort of take them off the table and store them else somewhere else while you try to tell these other stories, because
Yeah.
it's just like Jean Grey Phoenix. You can't tell the story of the X-Men if you have that sort of version of Jean Grey lording over in the background, because she can just come in and snap her fingers and everything's
Hmm.
done. Same thing
Hmm.
for Scarlet Witch. Same thing for the Sentry. The Sentry literally holds his hand up and people just disappear. Like, I mean,
Right.
you got somebody like
Yeah.
Franklin who's probably more powerful than all of them.
Hmm.
And yeah, I just wonder how they're going to do that, because you're gonna have to, once this is all over with, you're gonna have to take them sort of off the table or figure out some way to depower them, because you can't really tell stories about everything else. It's sort of like the same debate that a lot of people have during solo character movies, is like, well, the Avengers are in this world, why are they not here now? Like, why
Yeah.
why are they not helping you out right now?
Yeah.
They're like, a lot of people watched the Ant-Man movie or like Shang-Chi, and they were like, well, where are the Avengers at? Like,
Yeah.
it makes no sense for this dude to be taking on, whatever's happening, and there's nobody
When
else
the
there to back
Avengers
him
is
up.
in
Like,
this
it makes no
universe.
sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna have to bench some of them. Because I think, a good portion of those characters it's gonna get into a movie where it has to be very epic. Like
Mhm.
Endgame, Infinity War, like type epic um movie. And so I'll be interested to see how they do that. Then you still have the X-Men that's just waiting out there to be interesting to see how they play that. They brought up a good point, like in comics, he was a mutant. Franklin was a mutant. So do they play that? I don't think they would do. I think they would try to probably drop that. Um,
Yeah.
they dropped it with Scarlet Witch. I could imagine them dropping that the mutant portion of his character, but It's gonna be interesting to see how they get the X-Men in there as well, especially with
Yeah.
this movie being a hit now. How do they
Yep.
get those characters in? How will they interact before you get to Doomsday?
Yep. And I'm going off on a completely, somewhat related but different tangent right now. But I just think about how with Infinity War we were able to get the snap. Like, I'm rocking my snap shirt that I made myself now. But we were able to get that sort of comic book panel taken out of the comics and put directly on the screen and seeing that. So the only other one that I really want to see, and this is, like I said, we're fast forwarding now, probably at least a decade before we get to this point. But I got the feeling that, and from what I understand, Elizabeth Olsen is one of the favorites of the people at Marvel Studios. So I just wonder if, the next sort of Avengers, or I don't know if we're even going to have Avengers movies really after this, because they're going to come with the X-Men.
Yeah.
But I wonder if we're going to get the House of M story told,
Yes.
and we get
Yes.
probably like I would say my second favorite comic book panel of all time after the snap would be the her whispering "No more mutants," and then they all just
Yeah.
disappear. Like, dude, like
Yes.
that moment is what I'm waiting for now. Like, we got the snap, so I was
Yes.
waiting for that, and now I just need no more mutants. And if they give us
Yes.
that, like, I'll be set. So I'm guessing, like I said, that's probably like 10 years from now. But I can't imagine that they would that they wouldn't give us that, because that's probably one of the biggest things sort of left. And now that you got the X-Men coming into play after all this, you know, you can easily sort of start building towards that.
The House of M is a good direction.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
House of M is a really good direction. I wonder, and I also wonder. I hope they don't do this. I hope they would go in the House of M direction. Would they try to go down that lane of Jean Grey, Dark Phoenix storyline that Fox
I,
messed up twice?
I was just gonna
Um,
say that too. I hope they don't. Only because we've seen it.
yeah,
And like, I need to know if they're gonna go that route. They need to explain how it's going to be, like, what's going to be different. It needs to be different than what we've already seen. Um, how are they going to make that? How are they going to make that different? I don't know. That's my question. If they can make it different, sure, you can retell that story because it's a great story. I would
yeah,
much rather see them do, House of M.
I would too.
But yeah, if they want to go down that road, they just got to figure out a different way of telling that story. And
I
and
would definitely
one
want to
more
see.
thing, dude, I could do this forever. But one more thing, um, please, 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 whoever you cast as Cyclops, make him the leader of the X-Men and be
Yes,
a
yeah,
true leader
yeah.
of the X-Men. I'm sorry, when I was a kid, Cyclops was my favorite character. Like, I always liked Cyclops more than I like Wolverine. Like, most people were like Team Wolverine, but like I was always Team Cyclops, man. Like, I loved his character, and I think the best portrayal I got of him is in the old cartoon and in the new
Hmm.
X-Men 97
Hmm.
series. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, that's that version of Cyclops. That's what I
Hmm.
want to see. Also
Hmm.
want to see that version of Magneto because he was amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that uh, like I said, we're so far off of where we're supposed to be at. But like, I love chopping it up and talking this stuff, man. It's great. It's great. It's great.
I mean, like we
Comics.
off, but not
The movie only
off, but not really, because like they're gonna have to dig into this stuff tough as
Yep.
they move
Yep.
forward. So
Yep. Yeah, that's the direction we're going. And
mhm,
there's so many there's so many stories to tell, and that's why I don't really want them to do the Phoenix story, only because we've seen it before.
mhm,
Yeah, if they can, I think that they can get to that eventually. I hope they cast the X-Men very young. Like, I'm talking young 20s X-Men team,
yeah,
so that, by the time they're like in their mid 30s, you've already had four, maybe five films with them. Then you can get into, the Phoenix stuff. You can see little hints of it the entire
mhm,
way through.
mhm.
Yeah, like that would be amazing. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for.
canonizes him as being as powerful, if not a little bit more powerful than Galactus, which is extremely powerful, like a juiced up version of Galactus. We'll get into that too, because when Reed Richards says they're going to strand Galactus on the other side of the universe without his ship, it'll also keep Galactus from feeding as often as he needs to, which also weakens him greatly.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back ribs.
In the comics, the source of Galactus's power is the power cosmic. It's a totally different type of source than we've seen in the MCU so far, because the Silver Surfer has not been canon to the MCU yet, or Galactus yet. The power cosmic was created, Galactus himself was created in the combination of the scientist Galen of Ptah before the death of his universe with the living entity, the living embodiment of that version of the
All right, they
multiverse.
they going super deep dive
The
on that.
MCU universe,
Yeah,
for example, Galactus,
Super
when he's
deep
using his
dive.
power, you actually see his eyes glow purple, kind of like the Power Stone. And he
I
made the
noticed that.
same
I
sound that
noticed
the
that.
mhm.
Infinity Gauntlet made when Thanos was using the Infinity Stones. So it's like saying that Galactus wields the same type of power as the Infinity Stones, meaning that Franklin Richards also wields that same type of power. The actual movie begins with a 1960.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that they didn't like the way that the movie started and that it started slow. And I didn't take that at all. Like,
I
I,
didn't
I
either.
felt like it was great. Like, I really enjoyed the start of the movie, and I felt that it was a summary that was good enough for anyone to sort of be anyone with any sort of background know what happened with them. And then those people who might not know anything about them were able to get just enough to be able to catch on to what happened.
Right. Yeah, and then I like how you're
Genuine.
seeing who they defeated in that 4-year time.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that
Mm-hmm.
Superman didn't do. We're
Yep.
just told that he's never lost a fight, but here
Right.
we're actually seeing who they've defeated, and how they spent that 4 years time since they've gotten their powers.
Now all of a sudden my internet wants to go slow. This is ridiculous. Come on, come on, come on. All right, if it's not gonna work, I'm gonna go ahead and skip it. Okay. If you had to pick a lane as we, sort of move on from talking about Fantastic Four, but if you had to pick a lane and a focus for the MCU going forward, would that focus continue to be on the sort of, let's call them the Marvel heroes side of the coin, or would you really begin that shift towards the X-Men side of the coin?
I'm glad you asked that. I would start to look at the X-Men and the mutant side. You've already had success with the Wolverine and Deadpool. You've had success with that. You've had success with bringing over Fox's properties like Deadpool and now Fantastic Four. It's time to get the X-Men going. And this movie gave me a number of ideas. I like them dealing in the universe. I like them taking, like, the Fantastic Four they're a group that's kind of stuck in the 1960s. So let's give it to people. Let's put them in their time. With that being said, I would do the same thing with the X-Men. Have them in their universe. You get them in a period of time between like 1984 to 1994. When I think of X-Men, I think late 80s, 90s.
Yep.
That's what it speaks to. You put them in that time frame. You
All right. You cooking.
the same thing you're doing here. You got to put them in a time frame where you get you make people think like you're picking up a comic again. That's why I love about Fantastic Four. It felt like the 1960s when I was watching it. You do the same thing with X-Men. I would keep it. I really enjoyed X-Men 97. You kind of do the same exact thing. You put them smack dab in the 90s. They did that with Captain Marvel. I didn't like it as much, but you do that again with X-Men. You put them right in the 90s. I would do them in their own universe. You work the story with Magneto. Let's start moving with that. That needs to be the lane they go down next.
Yep. Yeah. Nah, man. I'm sold already. I'm sold. The second you said let's go ahead and have them in the late 80s, early 90s as a setting, like for the movie, like I'm sold. Like that's exactly, because it would hit the same note that sort of like Stranger Things does for me.
Yeah.
Like when I watch Stranger Things, like I get not only the great storytelling behind the show, not only the sci-fi aspects of the show, but it also tugs on that like nostalgia thread too. So I get to have some of that too. So like, yeah, man, that would be a great way to sort of have that first movie with the X-Men take place in that sort of era. Like, yeah, and it's all of us being like 80s and 90s babies, like we're the ones out there spending the money now, so they need to cater to us. Like that was one thing that I realized that I was getting old, was when I go to the grocery store now, I feel like the songs are directed towards me. So like, I'm going through the grocery store and they're playing like Janet Jackson or something like that, or you hear NSYNC, and it's just like,
Right.
dude, like this is crazy. Like I remember being in the store with my parents and they were playing music that I never even heard of.
Right.
And like now I'm at the point where they're making the music directed towards me. So not only does that mean I'm old, it also means that I'm ripe for that nostalgia sort of those nostalgic dollars to be spent. So if they want to get all of us out the woodworks, they just need to go ahead and set the movie in the 90s. That's a great idea, man.
Our music is safe music now.
Yep.
You would have told me Snoop Dogg would have been safe music 20 years ago.
Who are you
It's what
telling?
it is. But you're right. You're right. Like if they hit on that sort of nostalgic feel to it, I really think this Fantastic Four movie has kind of laid the groundwork for that. Dig into it. Look at what they did at X-Men '97. Have you seen the Oh, I can't. I just blanked on the name on it. The Batman series on Amazon. It's like a Batman noirs type series where they take him
No,
back to like the 1930s, 1940s.
no, no,
I
no, no.
love
I
it.
haven't.
I love it. I love it. I
Okay,
love that
okay.
whole detective thing. I can't think of the name of it, but it's an animated series. It
Mhm.
reminds me of the 90s animated series, but it's set in like I would say like the early 1940s.
Wow. No, I haven't seen it.
I
I
love
haven't seen it.
it.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to go look for it. Yeah, that's and that, speaking of the nostalgia stuff too, I know that they're doing a sort of not MCU related, but doing a Spider-Man noir TV show as
Yes.
well too.
Yes.
So like
Yeah.
yeah, just seeing those types of things and those types of stories being told, like that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be cool. So as we go ahead and wrap up our conversation on the Fantastic Four, what and sort of transition a little bit more into Doomsday. What do you think the goal is to what is your goal? What do you want everything at the end of Doomsday and going into Secret Wars? Like what do you think needs to happen? What needs to be achieved in Doomsday? I'll answer it first. The one thing that you got to do, and we all know that Robert Downey Jr. is playing Victor Von Doom in Doomsday.
Hmm.
Everybody knows that. So
Hmm.
the thing that they need to do is they need to have a story and a way of explaining that a makes sense to anyone who is not even a fan of the movies. Like you even if somebody hasn't seen them before, they might know that, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. You need to
Right.
be able to explain to them and everybody else how this character um is now Victor Von Doom, or like why do they look the same? The explanation has to be nailed. They cannot mess that up. That has to be nailed. If they nail that, that's the one thing that you have to nail. And then the other thing that I think you have to nail is that you have to have a a melancholy ending to that movie. It doesn't have to be like Infinity War sad or bad, but that
Hmm.
movie cannot end well. That movie has to have a bad ending so that you can go into Secret Wars, really wanting to know how that's going to turn out. So those are my two prerequisites for that movie. Do you have any for you?
Yes, I agree with everything you just said. Um, Before we even get to that, they have to get the anticipation going again. You can't get it. You can't have an.
Oh man, looks like we lost Steve. He was about to get into it too. So yeah, I'll just wait for him to come back on. But yeah, in the meantime, between time, um, I think that he was about to touch on the anticipation levels. I think everybody's anticipation levels right now are extremely high, extremely high. And if you're able to capitalize on the momentum that you have right now, you're going in the right direction. I think the next movie coming up is the Spider-Man movie. So how is that movie going to into everything that we've seen already in Fantastic Four, and that movie being the sort of prequel to everything that you have going on in Secret Wars, or I'm sorry, in Doomsday. It's going to be the only lead up that we have to that movie. So yeah, it's going to have to be good. It's going to have to be good, and not really. It's not only going to have to be good. It's going to have to be great. So I am, for one, really excited to figure out how they're going to go about doing that. Oh, we got Steve back. Go
Right,
ahead, man. Go
right.
ahead. Share what you're going to say.
No, I'm sorry about that, but
No, you good.
like I was saying, you're gonna really have to get the anticipation back in these movies. That's the first thing. We can dive into what we want to see from the characters, the direction of the movie. The first things first, they have to get the anticipation back, and that to me, the last 2 years have been just not there. Like, the this is the first Marvel movie where I felt like I can't miss it. Like I can't miss it. Like if I got to take, I'm gonna call off. I got to take half a day at
Right.
work. Like I
Right.
need to be in the theater Thursday. because I just kind of, I think I went like a week after the release of Thunderbolts. I went the second week, which I never do. I'm not a second week person. I'm gonna go third. If it's not Thursday, I'm there Friday. I went
Exactly.
there just Thunderbolts, Captain America. I think I went there the second week. They have to get it back to I'm I'm gonna see this first weekend. I need to know what's happening. I need to watch this movie because I know this movie is going to relate to this movie. Next one, they have to get that back to get that sort of feeling that you had during Endgame. I think you nailed it. You have to explain Robert Downey Jr. is playing a new role here. You have to explain that well, or it's going to get silly. Because if you don't, I think you're going to lose a good portion of your fan base. Um, and I think you're gonna have to. I don't think you have to go deep into the X Men, but you do have to start giving some more tea leaves there to build up on that. And those are some of the things I think you really gonna have to go on. But before we get into new characters, I think they have to get that Marvel magic back. That's the first things, the first step. And right now they don't have it. I think Fantastic Four is going to be a movie that gets them in the right direction. I was talking with someone the other day, and I was saying I really telling them I was really enjoying Fantastic Four. I don't think they need to have a sequel before you move on. So a lot of people are saying, okay, you got to do a sequel before you do anything else with them. I think this movie was strong enough where you can start to move on from there. You just have to get that anticipation back where people excited about the next thing. And it just hasn't been like that in 4 or 5 years. It can't just be pockets, okay? Well, Deadpool Wolverine, I'm excited. Fantastic Four, that one was good. Spider-Man's coming out next year, that'll be good. Boom, boom, boom. They have to start connecting. You have to be excited about the pathway to which they're going, not just individual movies. And that's kind of where they're at right now.
Yep, agreed. 100% agree, man. 100% agree. And if one other thing that I want, the Young Avengers, please just get them going.
Yeah.
Get them going. And,
Did you do
and
that
if
on
they
Disney
do,
Plus, though?
I was gonna say if they do Secret Wars and this right, you can easily have your X-Men set of movies set up. You can have your Avengers type, regular superheroes division set up, and then you can also have your Young Avengers section of the universe all set up through this movie. So like there's
Mhm.
yeah, they can definitely do it. They can definitely pull it off, and I hope that they do because that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for. How much time you got? You got another like 15 minutes you can spend with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm gonna try. I know last time we tried to do it and like do some reactions to like some trailers, but I'm gonna actually try to do it again and see if it'll work this time. Because I would love to get your reaction on a few trailers that I've seen as of late. So if you got a little bit of time, we can try to run through those.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Are you a fan of hold on, let me take this off. Okay. That shouldn't be on the screen anymore. Okay, perfect. Are you a fan of Peacemaker? Have you seen that show?
Yeah, I was a big fan. I liked. I seen season 1. I know they're starting. I haven't seen the trailer for season 2. I heard it drop though.
It did. It did. So yeah, let's check that out. Okay. So this is a few. Yes, Katie just jumped in and said Peacemaker is the best. Yeah, I love Peacemaker, man. Let's go ahead and watch that trailer and we can react to that. Do you watch The Boys?
No, I have not. I've seen a couple episodes of that, but I've
Okay.
heard it's really
Okay.
good.
Okay, we won't do that one then. Yeah, you have to watch The Boys, bro. Like that.
Okay.
Like you have to. You have to.
Okay.
It's the last season that we're on right now. Okay, the upcoming season is going to be the final season. The last season that we had before this one wasn't the best, but it was still pretty good. The first 2 seasons of that show, oh
I've
my
heard really good.
like especially the first season, like it was amazing. You got to watch that one. And Are you a fan of the Predator series? Have you been watching
Yes.
any of those movies?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. I've seen
we'll do
the trailer for that one. Yes.
okay, we'll do Peacemaker, we'll do Predator Badland, and how about what about horror movies? How big are you into horror movies?
I'm pretty big with them.
There's I guess there's a sort of Jason cinematic universe that they're building out. So they have like a trailer for something
Really?
that they're sort of expounded upon with that. So yeah, if you want, we can react to that one too.
Okay.
I'll throw that one on us. So that'll give us 3 things to check out real quick. All right, we'll start with Peacemaker first and see how that rolls.
You've all been waiting a long time for this one. Here's a new trailer of Peacemaker Season 2. Enjoy.
We doing it up in style.
Hey guys, I got beer. On?
Duh.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just hand it to him.
I'll just hand it to him.
I've changed a lot
R.I.P.
since I
Ozzy.
saw you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a joke anymore. I want to be a real hero.
You wear a clown costume and go out and beat up people.
Chris, take something bad and make something good out of it.
I need to find the Peacemaker. He killed my son.
You're being monitored right now.
By who?
Rick Flag, Sr.
Whoa.
What is it?
I have a dimension portal. And it leads to a parallel world.
What?
It's not that big a deal.
Get the out, is not.
My son is a better man you could ever dream of being.
I've tried to make up for my mistakes, but I'm not sure redemption is possible.
He's in love with you.
Me and Chris, it's never gonna be a thing.
I'm going to make a life in the other world.
There's another dimension. It's exactly the same as ours.
Better. Best dimension ever.
Dude, that's sick.
We need to close that dimensional rift.
The condoms, I'm partnering you up with our new agent, Rip Jagger.
Who's Rip Jagger?
Hey, fatty. No matter how green the grass is over there, you belong here with us.
We're gonna get Chris back.
You met your own self from a parallel dimension? You're wearing his clothes?
You think I bought this? That's painful.
My mom, we're going to my secret room. You're not allowed to follow.
You must be John.
Uh-huh.
Jesus.
You're not that dorky.
Shut up, Mom.
Peacemaker just hits all the right tones.
Yeah, it
so
does.
like what I'm hoping is that if this is going to be what Gunn's DC is, and it sort of has that comedic element, because I can see this type, like it flows from Superman into something like this. Like I can see that. Where are they going to go? Like I only have one question. If this is what you want it to be, I have no problem with that. None. But how is your Batman going to be? How are you going to fold your Batman into this? Like that's what I need to know.
Batman, what, Brave and the Bold or Bold and the Brave. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that. I love Peacemaker. I really enjoyed season 1. But yeah, I'm starting to worry. I know you're going to have 2 Batmans in DC now going. Is he going to try to do like the complete opposite? That one's really dark, so I'm going to really lighten this one up. It makes me nervous.
Yeah, you got to stay true to the character of Batman. Yeah, like you can go a little light, but you can't go too light.
Yeah.
I think that Peacemaker, like you said, season 1 was incredible. Was able to hit a lot of the notes that I want to see in a sort of comic book type series. Like it wasn't. It's solidly R-rated. It wasn't like overly vulgar. It was violent enough, but it was vulgar enough as well. Like that's exactly what you want. And from what I was reading, they have a new like intro sequence this time too. So I'm excited to see that.
Wait,
But
yeah,
man,
I love that
I
first
crack
one.
up every time.
Yeah, I love the first intro from season 4.
Oh yeah, and I mean, and I have to say, I love Eagly too. Apparently, there's going to be a character in this season of the show that is going to be like Eagly's arch nemesis. So I'm excited to see that. Yeah, I think James Gunn, as we said before, he does a great job with like ensemble groups and character groups. So that's why these group of characters come across so well on the screen. So I'm excited to see this, man. I'm super excited. I will be watching and reacting to it weekly. I don't know if you want to hang out. You can hang out if you want, but yeah, I'm going to be reacting to it weekly along with Katie. So if you like that type of content, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop your comments, and also hit that notification bell so that you're notified each and every time we go live in 2025. I'm JD, and that's Steve over there, and I appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, and we will see you when we see you. Peace. All right. Next up, we will do something else. I forgot what was next, but I'll just hit next. Oh, it's the Predator's Badland or Predator Badlands.
So this is your first hunt. And you've come to the most dangerous planet in the universe. You're after a creature that can't be killed. The definitive apex predator. I could help you. Well, good luck with your journey. Here, you're not the predator. You're the prey. We might not be alone in this hunt.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like it makes me nervous that you have the sort of the like I don't even know what to call it. Like is she like a cyborg? Like is the Predator's partner is like this cyborg lady who's hanging out, but yeah, I don't know. Katie says, I'm not sure how I feel about this movie. You may be seeing it alone. Yeah, I'll probably watch it, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one either. It's kind of odd. What do you think?
I enjoyed Prey. The last one they did. I enjoyed Prey. It kind of reinvigorated the whole Predator franchise. And I thought that was done for a while, and that movie really brought it back. Yeah, I'm like you. I don't know if I'm going to rush to the theater and see it, but it does seem like something I'm going to check out because I did like Prey, and I kind of like the direction they were going with that. So I'll check this out.
Yeah, this one kind of strikes me as being a little bit more comedic, and I don't really like that tone. I don't like that tone. I thought Prey was a serious movie, and like I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
It
makes me a little nervous, but
buddy type deal.
Yeah,
Let's get through this together. Absolutely.
Yeah, like a Predator cyborg buddy cop movie. Like
Mhm.
that's not exactly what I was
Exactly.
expecting out of this, but it is what it is, I guess. But hey, my opinion is my opinion. Steve's opinion is his opinion. But what is your opinion? What do you think? Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment below, and hit that notification button so that you're notified each and every time we go live in 2025, because we will be talking about this and so many other things throughout the rest of this year. My name is JD. My man over there, that's Steve. And we appreciate you for hanging out with us. We will see you when we see you. Peace. All right. One more. What's next? Okay. Sweet Revenge. Yeah. Okay. Now this one, like I said, it's some sort of, I guess, like spin-off of Jason type movies. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
You all settled in?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. Look at this.
You got a beautiful spot here.
These properties had a bit of a troubled past.
What kind of trouble?
Well, you know, the usual story. Revenge. Anyway, you kids have fun.
Okay. So, watching that, my first question and comment is, are we just getting a origin story, or
Yeah.
are we going to get something that's going to expand upon the universe? Because I'm not really interested in seeing an origin story. You just might as well go ahead and build on whatever the other movies that they have. I don't want to see a reboot of this. Just go ahead and tell me another story, I guess. But yeah, if we're getting an origin story, I don't really want to see that. If this is some sort of expansion on the universe, I'm cool to see that. But it's looking like an origin story to me. What did it look like to you, man?
It was like a reboot.
Yeah.
Let's take the same story from the 80s and let's reintroduce the story to a new generation of young people. It feels like a reboot. We're back at the lake. We're back at the summer.
Yeah, Crystal Lake.
Bunch of teenagers for Jason to devour. It feels like a reboot to me. If it's a reboot, I'm not on board. I'm all Jason out. If you have a new story going to progress the franchise, I might give it a chance. I don't want to see a reboot. Jason out.
Yep. No, I'm with you on that, man. I'm not really into the reboot as far as this is concerned. I think that you need to find a different and more creative way to tell a different story. And I think that you don't have to start it all over. So yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. You heard Steve's opinion. What do you guys think? Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to our channel, and then drop a comment and let us know what you think about this Jason universe movie, whatever it may be coming out very soon, I guess. Also, while you're with us, after you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified each and every time we go live in 2025. My name is JD. That right there is my main man, Steve. And we appreciate you for hanging out with us. We'll see you when we see you. Peace. All right, man. We are going to go ahead and shut things down. This has been awesome. I really enjoy doing these streams with you, bro. Like it's cool to be able to nerd out and geek out with you like this for an hour and a half. I feel like we've done this twice in the same month, I guess. At this point, I feel like we got to keep the streak going at some point. So I'm gonna have to borrow you at another point in time. I don't know what else we got coming out, maybe for a show, or maybe we can talk about Taker at some point moving forward or something like that. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you for hanging out with us tonight. Anything you like to say before I go ahead and shut things down?
No, anytime you want to do this, I'm always open for it. Peacemaker, whether you want to do a series, show, I don't know what else we have left. I got to really look at the summer lineup, but I'll make myself available. I'm always
Man, I appreciate it. Like I said, I got a lot of feedback from people saying that they enjoyed having you on. So I was like, yeah, I gotta definitely go grab them again. So yeah, this has been Watch Stuff with us. I'm JD. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in tonight. We have so many things coming up. Like I said, we're going to be watching Peacemaker a little bit further down the line. I have a bunch of other shows like already on there, and I can't really think of any of them right now other than Stranger Things. I know that's coming up, but that's like November. We got a lot of other stuff to get to before we get to that point. But yeah, if you are somehow just stumbled on this channel, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment, and then hit that notification bell so that you are notified each and every time we go live in 2025. My name is JD. The main man, Steve, right down there. I appreciate you, bro, for hanging out with us. And we will see you when we see you. Peace.